Hi there. Do you want to know about the very basics of sniping in Battlebit Remastered? Have you tried playing the class itself and realised that the moment you peek around the corner somewhere you get sniped by enemy snipers who are glinting all game, but as soon as you start, looking down your scope and giving off that glint, you immediately get shot and you wonder why and how? Are you struggling to hit your shots? Are you not quite sure how you only have 2 or 3 magazines, but the enemy seems to be able to keep shooting you all game from the same spot without having to rearm? Well, fear not. Today, I will answer all of those questions as we will learn the very basics, the bare bones, of sniping. It will be a lengthy tutorial, and I recommend watching it, or listening to it rather, as a podcast while doing something else, because I will go into detail about a lot of things, and later down the line, hopefully we'll have some adequate gameplay to showcase what we've learned. I say hopefully because the moment I start recording and doing commentary while playing this game, my skill level drops by about 75%. But for now, let's get into the actual gear and the actual theory crafting behind it, and let's get you outfitted first. And then, well, we're going to make a sniper out of you yet. My name is Juggernaut, and welcome to the shooting range. Let's head down there and learn some things together. So, first and foremost, the choice of rifle. It doesn't matter. Next question. Well, no, okay, now, here's the thing. The SSG-69 is your starting sniper rifle, and as you can see, I've gotten a number of kills with it before I moved on to the SV-98, and then recently I've moved on to the L96. All of these rifles are good. One thing you will notice is that the difference in rank between them is fairly large. To get to the M2000 is going to take a long while. In all due honesty, sticking with the SSG-69 or maybe moving up to the SV-98 is perfectly fine. You don't need to go down here. You can later down the line, obviously, and you probably will once you unlock all of these rifles, but don't stress about it. There's nothing that the L96 can do better than the SV98 can, or the Remington 700, or the M2000. Okay, I'm lying to you a little bit. The M2000 is, I think, generally considered to be the best sniper rifle because of its damage and velocity, which are ridiculously high, and this is on an unmodified rifle, so yes, technically the M2000 is the best one, but it doesn't matter that much. It's not a huge leap in quality, right? For example, this rifle right now that I have fully kitted out has a velocity of 1,150, and I think I can even get that to go up. Yeah, I think I can get that with the long barrel or the Ranger or the tactical, one of these. I have one of these on my actual gun. I think it's this one, to where it kicks a little bit more, but it has more velocity. It's a matter of choice, honestly. You can get velocity pretty high up. Don't worry about it. Let's talk about the actual outfitting of the gun itself. So let's say you've picked any one of these that you've unlocked. Maybe you're just starting out the game and you're going to start with the SSG. Maybe you're a bit later down the line and you're going to start off with the L96, whichever you prefer. How do you actually outfit this gun to do well in combat? Well, first of all, we're going to talk about glinting, and for that, I'm going to need a long-range scope. Let's say an 8x. And let's deploy. Okay, so here we are at the firing range. You found a position, you've, gotten yourself behind a little bit of cover, or not, you're just lying prone somewhere, and you want to start shooting at the enemies. With any long-range scope, that's 6 times magnification plus, you are going to get something called glint. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a very neat-looking scope. The magnification is great, the picture you actually see at 300 and 400 meters is crystal clear. I mean, look at that. If we put the 0 at 400... I mean, just beautiful, right? Let's compensate a little bit more, and just beautiful, right? Look at that. It's wonderful. The only problem is, everyone, and I do mean everyone, from all the way back here, can see you. You see, the way that's going to work, and you've probably seen this in battle, is you're going to see a little bright white light appear right there. And you're going to wonder, what's that? Well, that is an enemy sniper. And that means that, well, it's 1,000 meters away, right? Zero in at 1,000. Boom. You're dead. Now, Juggernaut, doesn't it work the other way around? Like, if they zoom in, I'll be able to see them too. Yes, but not with all scopes. You see, glinting is only a factor with, like I said, 6 times magnification or more. What I use instead, and with many, many, many snipers in this game, dare I say most of the good ones in this game use instead, is a 4x. You can use the ACOG, although it's not very good. You can use the M125, which is great. You can use the Prisma, sorry, which is great. The Flare is it doesn't work very well. Don't forget about it. It's a thermal vision. It really doesn't work great. Echo is pretty good. The Tri-X 4x32, I think it's the best one technically. At least that's what people are saying. But honestly, I'm pretty happy with this one as well because it has the top sight too. And you put out on the top side like a red dot on it, and, well, let's see the difference. Alright, back in the exact same position, lay prone, and, well, all of a sudden, as you can see, 400 meters away is pretty pixely, and it's pretty far away, and you can't see it all that well. But, let's go up to 400. Actually, that's 600 that I'm aiming at right there. I'm hitting my headshots. 600 meters away, I'm hitting my headshots. Alright, let's go to 800. 700 first. 700 meters away, I'm hitting my headshots. You also may have noticed something else with the 4x scopes. When I aim down, this is me not compensating at all for the aiming, right? It's perfectly steady. Okay, when you stand, you can see the tiniest bit of sway up and down. If you crouch, it's almost gone. This is almost perfectly steady. If you go prone, I don't think it makes much of a difference, or does it? Yeah, actually it does. Now it's perfectly steady. Like, that's actually perfectly steady. If you aim like this with an 8x, you have to deal with that sort of sway a little bit. Now, you can cancel it out by holding shift and holding your breath, fair enough, but honestly, to me it just seems like extra work. And as you can see, 900 meters away, I'm hitting my headshots. In fact, let me show you something. Does it actually show here? No, it doesn't. The longest distance kill I have with the L96 using a 4x is 1,100 meters away. Yeah, you can absolutely hit. And there's no glinting. You can aim as long as you want. Now, you might have noticed that I was talking about zeroing the gun there for a second and then changing those numbers. How do I do that, and what's that all about? Well, if you're a complete newbie in the world of firearms, this is also a thing in real life. You see, the barrel shoots the bullet and it spits it out in a general direction of the enemy, right? This crosshair here that you see needs to be aligned to where that bullet is going to hit, so that when you aim, for example, at that body over there, you hit him. But you may have noticed the bullet went a little bit low there, so I was aiming directly at the chest and it hit him in the stomach, let's say. This particular sniper rifle is very, very generous when it comes to zeroing. The bullets here fly very straight. So this is with the gun that's zeroed at 0 meters. Literally nothing, right? 0. Let's fire at 600 meters away. The bullet, as you can see, landed at the feet of the enemy when I was aiming at the ground, at the chest, sorry. Let's aim at the head of the enemy and fire. We hit him in the chest. So 600 meters away, with the zeroing set to 0, set to like the mouth of the barrel, like right in front there, you hit him in the chest. If you hold down the Alt key and use the scroll wheel and go up, you can set the zeroing distance. This means that you've changed where the bullet, well, you haven't changed where the bullet goes, you've changed where this crosshair is telling you the bullet will go at 600 meters. So now 600 meters, click, headshot, right? However, if we aim at something that's a lot closer to us, like a target that's 30 meters away, if we aim right at the top of the head, it's going to miss. Why is it going to miss? Well, this is set up for a target at 600 meters away. When it's closer, as you can see, the bullet actually goes above. So bring it down to 0, and there you go. We hit. That's zeroing. It's probably a very bad way of explaining it, but essentially, you want to zero your targets, or you want to zero your scope, rather, at the distance at which you're hitting your target. How do I know? There's a rangefinder. If you don't have a rangefinder, there are some helpful tricks and tips to get you used to distances and stuff. The shooting range is actually great for this itself. So you aim down with a 4x, that's 20, that's 30, that's 40, that's 50, that's 250. You can judge it based on the relative size of your target. Thankfully, all soldiers in this game are of the same height, so I now know with enough experience that that's less than 100 meters, that's a little bit above, that's around 200 something, that's 300 to 400, maybe even more, and I'm just going to aim a little bit above. And I've hit him. With this sniper rifle. Some other ones will require you to exercise a little bit more precision and zero your targets a little bit better, but as you can see, that's very easy. So, there we go. Next, we're going to need to talk about something very, very important that people, I reckon, probably should do on all of their classes, but snipers especially so, and that is double bounding your movement keys. You may have noticed that when I strafe left and right, my character leans, and I don't think there's a third-person view for me to show you this, but trust me, he does. So you can lean while standing with E and Q, but you can also bind the lean keys to strafe left and right. Why do I do this? I think for sniper rifles especially, it's very, very important. Let's say that 200, or let's make it a little bit more realistic. How far away is that? That's like 360 meters away. Alright, fair enough. Let's say that 360 meters away, there is an enemy sniper and he's trying to hit you. If you're just going to duck behind cover and sit still like this, the chances are you're going to get a good shot off at him, no doubt about it, but at the same time you're a sitting duck and you're very easy to hit. Just like that. Now, imagine, instead, you're doing this. As you can see, it's a little bit more difficult to hit the enemy because, well, you're moving and the gun's bouncing up and down. And, yeah, it's a little bit more difficult to hit the shot. But you are way, way harder to hit yourself. Not only is your character moving left and right, he's also leaning his head left and right. And with a little bit of practice, you can actually stop for a split second, deliver a shot, and then keep moving. And there you go. Now, you may have noticed that every time I fire a shot, I can chamber another round into the rifle, I can work the bolt without actually having to zoom out. It took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to realize that this is an attachment for the gun. So let's respawn and show you that. The bolt, action A, makes it so you have a little bit more control and a little bit more running speed for a less draw speed and less bolt action speed, but the stats are irrelevant. What it does is it makes it so you have to zoom out every time you want to work the bolt. Bolt action B, C, D, and E make it so you can keep shooting without having to zoom out. And let's just demonstrate that. We fire, and we work the bolt. There we go. That's bolt action B. Now, let's go over to Loadout again. Slap bolt action A on there. And I have to zoom out. See, it's telling me to click left click to chamber the next round. I do that, and it zooms me out automatically, even though I'm holding the zoom button. Next, in terms of... whoops, wrong button. Next, in terms of our equipment, is we're going to look at the actual character. Oh yes, it does matter. You see, a lot of people don't know this, but you can actually change your chest armor and your backpack. And the reason this is a great thing is the sniper backpack starts with one primary gadget, boo-hoo. You can switch to sniper backpack normal, and you'll have two primary gadgets, one secondary gadget, for the low price of 2.5% movement speed. That is very, very worthwhile. But it's not the only thing. You can also switch out your chest armor. Instead of light, you can put on normal. And this time it's a 5% movement speed reduction, but you gain 1 throwable and 4, that's right, 4 extra magazines. I'm sure that a million times or so you've seen people... Whoops, okay, sorry about that. I wanted to turn on no clip. I'm sure that you've seen that people a million times have climbed up to a nice position, aimed down the sights, started shooting enemies. One headshot after the other. It's just beautiful. And they run out of ammo. And now you either have to go down, go back, try and find an ammo box. You have to call in an ammo box, and it takes ages for it to get to you. You have to find a support friend that will drop an ammo box for you, and then you have to climb back up here again. And by the time you're back here trying to work again as a sniper, the front line has moved, and now all the enemies are over there. And well, like I said, it's not the most difficult shot in the world. But it's certainly a heck of a lot more difficult, especially when the targets are moving. So, yeah. Like I said, not ideal. This way, with 4 extra magazines, you can find a nice cozy spot and snipe away the day. Alright, now... let's go over into the loadout and look at some of these secondaries, first aid, primary, secondary gadgets, etc., etc. The TLDR of this is it's kind of up to you. I love heavy caliber pistols, so the Unica, the Desert Eagle, the Rhino, or the RSH-12 is kind of like a Unica, I feel like, except with more recoil. I guess it does, like, light armor damage, like slightly armor piercing or something. But I don't think it's very worthwhile. Desert Eagle, very fun. Haven't used it. Just used it here, but yeah, I've seen people use it. It's pretty fun. Unica, have used. It's an incredibly fun pistol. You can use an automatic Glock, like the Glock 18. You can use a USP or an M9 or whatever. I really would recommend the Unica because it's so ridiculously fun, but it's a sidearm. It'll get the job done, basically. Hopefully you never need to use it. First aid is standard for everyone, and then we get here. See, in my opinion, binoculars are completely useless if you're using 4x scopes. You don't need to find your targets with binoculars. If you were using a 20x scope or an 8x scope or something like that, then I would recommend using the binoculars, because you don't want to find targets through your scope, because you'll be glinting all the time. Instead, you want to find targets with your binoculars, and then quickly switch over to the rifle and take a shot before, you know, switching back to the binoculars to find more targets. That way you minimize the amount of time the enemy knows where you are. But you can eliminate that time altogether if you switch to a 4x, so do with that what you will. Also, advanced binoculars are a thing. just use this instead of the regular ones, obviously, but yeah, it is what it is. C4, Claymore, I know snipers that use both of these. For me personally, anti-personnel mines are king. Claymores are more useful at defending you and defending your sniper's nest. You can put them around you. They will stay even after you die, so you can get kills that way. And generally speaking, they are very useful, but for me, anti-personnel mines can fill a similar role to Claymores. Maybe they're not as good, but anti-personnel mines. And then, over here, an air drone. Oh yes, an air drone. See, a grappling hook is incredibly useful. It will allow you to scale places where you generally wouldn't be able to get to, but at the same time, we're kind of at the stage of this game where a lot of people expect you to be in unexpected places, if that makes sense. So now, actually hiding in some of the more obvious and hiding in plain sight kind of spots tends to work out a little bit better, right, in my experience. For example, if you scale the tallest building in the game, you bet every single sniper on the map is going to check there every few seconds, just to make sure you're not up there. And if you are, they will shoot you. And they will take you down. Yeah? The MDX-201 is actually kind of useful. It can be utilized, as you can see here, to distract enemy snipers. What this does is it glints. So this thing provides glint on the enemy's screen, and they will waste a lot of time and ammo shooting this thing. If you're using a glinting sniper rifle yourself, useful to some extent. If using a 4X combined with this, it's actually not bad at all. Most of the enemies are going to be shooting at this, while you are going to be shooting with a 4X, counter-snipering, doing counter-sniper fire, right? And they won't pay that much attention to you because they won't know you have a 4X, and they'll think this is a little bit more dangerous. Of course, it does rotate, and it does get a little bit predictable, and if they have a high enough magnification scope, they will see that it's a utility tool and not an actual enemy sniper, so bear that in mind. Pickaxe and sledgehammer I think are absolutely useless for snipers. Grappling hook is alright. Air drone is just fun, okay? Sorry, I just had to take a sip of water. The air drone is just incredibly fun. What you would do is, I'm actually going to show you this. And then throwables, I like frag grenades or impact grenades, whichever ones you prefer. I use frag grenades more. But yeah, it is what it is. Alright, so let's go down, deploy, and let's go over here. Let's say you're here, the enemy is coming, there's hundreds of them, and you don't know what to do. Well, have no fear. Oh, the drone doesn't work in the... okay. Never mind, so I'll just tell you. What you would do is you would plop the drone down, and then in the shooting range it doesn't work, but in the actual game it does. You take anti-personnel mines and you drop them like this on top of the drone. And then you control the drone, fly it to the enemy, land it at the enemy's feet, and behold, you have a suicide drone. It's incredibly fun, yeah? Unfortunately, people are now a little bit wiser to the idea, and they know that, yeah, those hurt, and they should probably shoot them down, and they're pretty big, so they're not exactly difficult to shoot down, but regardless, it's still very, very fun. Oh, cool. Alright. And I think that's about it as far as your equipment is concerned. I think we've covered everything. So now, let's get down to some strategies to apply in the actual battles. And for that, we're going to need to go into a live server. So, wish us luck, because I have voice chat enabled, and for all obscenities and, well, let's just generally say rude stuff that's going to be spoken, I take no responsibility whatsoever. See you in the game. Alright, here we go, in an actual battle. I realised I forgot to talk about the DMRs, the Designated Marksman Rifles. They're all terrible except the SVD, and even then the SVD isn't all that great. So yeah, stick to sniping, stick to sniper rifles. The SVD, with all attachments unlocked, I think you can get it to where you can one-shot with, you can one-hit kill people with headshots, and it is semi-auto. So you can get it to be pretty darn good, but you need to be rank 115, and you need to unlock everything for it. not ideal, right? Let's just say not ideal. So, as the rules of Battlebit dictate, do not spawn until sorry, do not spawn until the game is started, because, well, I don't want to listen to people's music, or the screaming, or the moaning, or all the racist, inappropriate, and political jokes that people have to deliver, shall we say, at the beginning of the lobby. Although calling them jokes is somewhat generous, shall we say. Okay, that's going to be interesting. We have some rivals already. That's okay, though. Let's see if we can pick up some early shots on enemies. I probably could have taken that. Like so. By the way, few things are as satisfying as killing the pilot of an enemy helicopter with a sniper rifle. Just saying, keep that in mind. If you ever want to try it and there's no better shots and no better targets around, well, why not, right? Let's put a mine right behind me and see what we can see from here. You see, usually with a sniper rifle, you tend to want to go up, if that makes sense. You tend to want to go to the tallest building and stuff like that, but like I said previously, people often expect you to be there, and it's, well, let's just say it's not ideal to always be exactly where the enemy expects to see you. So instead, oh, that's a shame. Oh, that is a crying shame. I cannot hit anything. Oh well. There we go. Ooh, there's guys in the building. Okay. We can use this to our advantage. They're not going to expect me here. And they're mostly going to be clearing the building. Of course, that's if and only if my allies don't draw all the attention of the world to me, which they have, so, yeah, there you go, fair enough. That is something that you will have to deal with as a sniper a lot, that teammates spawning on top of you will attract a lot of attention, and, yeah. It often ends like that. Oh well, I understand this is facing the wrong way, but let's see if we can... Really? Through here? There we go. One. And a two. And that's a BTR, and there is nothing I can do about that. Hopefully I'll get resurrected by allies from over here. Hello. Yep, thank you. And there we go. Ooh, D's being taken as well. We're kind of in the middle of things. I don't exactly love it. Oftentimes, I mean, this is just a me problem, really. Oftentimes, I'm going to hit people in the chest and not the head. And that can be an issue. But don't feel bad about it. In fact, one-shotting people is a... Oh, that was terrible. I should have known they're coming up the stairs. One-hit killing people with a sniper rifle is extremely satisfying, don't get me wrong, but when you're still not, let's just say, the most experienced sniper rifle on the server and you're just getting started, which I'm not the best by any stretch of the imagination, I'm still a newbie, you know, learning my way through all of this, but I'm just here to share the fundamentals of sniping, let's say. When you're still learning, don't worry about the fact that you're just tagging people instead of killing them. He says, like, just kill another guy, but don't worry about it. It helps a lot. Right, you bring them down to less than half of their HP, and sooner or later you're going to see just assists rolling in. Obviously, your score is not going to be the greatest. It's always better to kill someone than just to damage them. They can get healed and all of that, fair enough, but at the same time, like I said, don't stress about it too much. There's a guy right there. I'm going to try and get a better angle. Oh, he's dead. He died as my bullet landed on his face. That's slightly unfortunate. Yeah, it's a target-rich environment. A little bit too rich, though. But you remember when I talked about moving and binding your lean keys to left and right? People are going to call you toxic, maybe. You might get some odd glances here and there, but it's going to work. Ah, shame. That was the shoulder, I think. There you go. But there is something to learn from this gameplay as well. Basically, could you please leave, guys? Angles like this are kind of ridiculous, right? And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. You hold these ridiculous angles. I need to get those grenades out. Didn't kill anyone with them? Damn, that's a shame. I was sure I would have gotten like one or two. Let's get the drone, see if we can't pick any kills up like this. Ooh. Yeah. Yep. I can see him. I can see him right there. Hello, sir. There we go. Oh, that is never going to get old, man. That is freaking phenomenal. I love that so much. Yeah, that's a shame. I'm a bit weird that I don't think any of my mines exploded. Or I don't think he exploded them either. It's kind of the whole point of me putting them there, but alright, never mind, fine. We got fair and square. I was on low HP and everything too, but yeah, there you go. It's hilariously fun. I mean, I absolutely love this game, and tell you what, it feels to me like most of the lobbies nowadays are people rushing and running around with Vipers or sorry, not Vipers, Chris Vectors, or sometimes you'll see a Groza or a Scar or something like that. And Grozas, I think, are getting pretty popular nowadays as well. They're pretty darn good rifles. So, no surprise there, but like I said, it's getting a bit monotonous. And I feel like breaking up the monotony of your game with some sniper gameplay like this, if you know all the fundamentals, can be very entertaining. Like I mentioned, I mainly play medic with submachine guns. as do most people. Although technically I think I have more games with, and more kills with assault rifles than submachine guns. I started with SMGs somewhat recently. But there you go, like I said, this can be fun as well. And I have just one final piece of advice, and final, I guess... Oh, that's a horrible shot. One final, I guess, piece of... I should have known again. Piece of advice, which I'm not really... Or tip, I suppose, which I'm not really following myself here, but it is a very chaotic map, and I'm not all that familiar with it. Although, I think this is the first map I've ever played in this game, like when I first bought it. So, a certain bit of nostalgia chains me to this as well, but... That aside, interesting. Okay, let's go back to sniping. That's just silly and interesting. Ah, shame. He's dead, right? Yeah. If he didn't move, he's dead. And that is, try and be useful as a sniper with your kills. And by that I mean, if I were to go over here and just snipe people coming out of the roof spawn towards E site, I might get 10, 15, even 50 kills. It won't matter. I'll decrease the enemy's tickets by a little bit, but often times those guys that I kill are going to get revived, so I won't even do that. I'm going to waste their time a little bit, okay, fair enough, I'm going to be annoying, but in terms of our overall chances of success and me helping the team, there isn't going to be any of that, right? Instead, I don't expect snipers to go rushing in with their pistols to try and secure the different sites on Conquest or on Frontline or whatever, and I think in Frontline this is especially painful. People tend to snipe from the back and it doesn't really do anything. I mean, it doesn't matter how many people you kill on Frontline, it doesn't change the score. It only matters if you kill people that are actually on the site. So my advice would be keep that in mind. If you're going to snipe, for example, we're trying to attack C now. Try and snipe people going into defend C or defending C, or people that are actually on the point, and try and get kills where it would matter. Like, for example, that guy. He's not getting resurrected, and he's not flanking my friends anymore. Now that I've shot him down, if that makes sense, yeah? Over there as well, it's an ongoing firefight. I'm supporting the grunts, you know, the infantry that are down there in the mud trying to push. If I'm just somewhere else, let's just say, completely in the back, not doing anything remotely useful and just getting long-range kills for the sake of it, I understand the entertainment value behind it, but it gets you the side-eye occasionally, and people complain, especially if there's way too many snipers on the team. So, yeah, just keep that in mind when you're sniping, that ultimately this is a team game, and you don't want to ruin people's experience just by, well, being useless, I suppose, to some extent. Yeah. Alright, that's about it, I think, as far as my advice for sniping is concerned. Also, try and get headshots when the enemy doesn't know you're aiming at them and is standing still. Increases your odds of survival. There is also some, like, pretty general everyday stuff that just makes sense in warfare in general that you can use. Keep an eye on the map, keep an eye on where the front line is, quote-unquote. Where your friends are, where the enemy is. Don't peek outside of buildings, don't put your rifle outside of a window, aim from well inside the building, you're much harder to hit there that way and much harder to spot. And as you can see there, even though I missed my shot like 4 or 5 times, it took that guy ages to find me, and yeah, he eventually got me, but it doesn't matter. I still got my point across. And yeah, that's about it. I think that wraps the video up. So I'm just going to provide a little bit more content here, I suppose. Let's try and get a few more kills and see how this battle ends up. No, it's pretty tight, pretty close, and pretty slow too. Feels like we've been playing for a while. I wonder if he's going to peek there again. At this point, I'm focusing on enemy snipers, because, well, we all know just how annoying snipers can be. Damn it, I knew he was going to pick up his friend. I wanted to get him while he was doing it. Something about the Geneva Convention there, but you know what they say, Geneva suggestions, Geneva Conventions. Ping for our friends. So they know the enemy's there. Oh, I don't know if they fixed this, but occasionally you can kill people through walls, because their legs will stick out the other side, and you can hit them in the legs and kill them that way. It's obviously not exclusive to snipers. Oh, shame. That's a crying shame. I thought I had my allies, like, downstairs. Clearly not. Alright, let's switch to medic. And, oh, I got a new camo? Yeah, sure. New underbarrel. Not that important. Alright. Switch to medic and, wrap this video up, I think. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. How terribly am I doing? Well, I'm the squad leader right now with 20-6, so honestly I'm pretty happy with that result. It wasn't ideal gameplay, it was a little bit slow, but like I said, I'm focusing on explaining things and showcasing stuff rather than actually just being the most useful and the most productive sniper I can be. It's incredibly difficult to comment, to talk and like comment on events in the game, do commentary, and also try and showcase things, teach things, and also try and be good at the same time. Or, good, be, like, decent at the game at the same time. So, yeah. Please bear all of that in mind, that when I'm not recording, I'm a little bit better than this, but regardless, that was about it. I hope you learned something new. I hope the video wasn't too long and boring, but like I said, I'd recommend watching it a little bit more like a podcast, and in that sense, I guess, more listening to it than treating it as a condensed tutorial, but congratulations, Juggernaut. That is the perfect time and way to end the video. You've just missed the man 45 times in a row. Congratulations. That said, I'm moving from a sniper rifle with no recoil to a Vector with there is recoil to manage there, and it takes a minute or two to get used to the switch. Yeah, but that was beyond horrible. Okay, slightly better. Turns out I can hit stuff. Well, we got him. I guess that's all that mattered. Got him eventually, boys. Okay, they're in the building. Gotcha. Let's see. Really? You guys all healed up, good to go. Yeah, there we go. Cleared the building. Right. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned with the rest of the content that I produce on this channel, which is not really focused around this game, but heck, it is what it is, right? I mostly do RPGs and strategy games, such as Stellaris, the Paradox Grand Strategy games, and RPGs of various natures. Mass Effect, Bioshock. I haven't actually played Bioshock, but I was thinking about it. I'm currently doing the two series of Mass Effect and Stellaris. I also played Escape from Pripyat. That is the Stalker Anomaly mod pack for, well, making the game a little bit closer to Escape from Tarkov, but kind of does its own thing as well. It started off as a way to sort of merge the Tarkov style of game into Stalker, but now it's a little bit different. Either way, it is incredibly fun, and I guess in the sort of similar genre to this, although it's not multiplayer and it's not nowhere near as fast, but it is a shooter, so there you go. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, until next time, have fun, take care, and bye-bye. That was a nice little sequence at the end there. A couple of grenades kills and a couple of vector kills. Alright, bye-bye.